then I was telling her about apartheid. I said apartheid is bad. Apartheid is terrible. It destroyed South Africa. And all the time she was kind of telling me like, oh, no, wait. I said, no. Apartheid. I gave her this like hour-long lecture like I usually do. And it turned out she was inviting me to a party.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, hi. Sorry. Welcome to the Jib. You'll notice things are a little different today. I'm not wearing my cowboy hat. Today, we're going to do a JIBJabs. Welcome to the JIBJabs. Here at the Jib, we sometimes read about very interesting characters from history who don't fit into our FBI CIA focus, but we don't think that should stop you from meeting them. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Our first JIBJabs was about Lyndon LaRouche, perennial US presidential candidate and radical leftist and far-right cult leader. Our second JIBJabs was about Juan Pujol Garcia, a Spanish poultry farmer and freelance World War II double agent. Our third JIBJabs was about the Corcoran Gang, a group of jail wardens in California hosting gladiator fights among their inmates. Our fourth JIBJabs was about Mordechai Vanunu, Israel's worst nightmare. And today we are talking about...
William James Clark.
Never heard of him. This is good.
Okay.
Right.
So, in May 2002, a barge... Well, this is... we don't have all of his information.
Okay.
So you just have to trust me for...
Is he like 23?
No.
Oh, okay.
So what we're going to first talk about is what happened here.
A bridge collapsed.
Yep. May 2002, a barge floating along the Arkansas River near Weber's Fall, Oklahoma.
Okay.
When Captain Deadman, however you want to pronounce it, I'm going to go with Deadman because he passed out from a cardiac episode.
Oh dear. The
barge slammed into an interstate bridge, crowded with traffic. 14 people died, dozens were injured, and the 513-foot hole left behind prompted Oklahoma's governor to call the scene a disaster.
What's
that?
That's not whimsical.
Not at all.
No.
It was at this point a hero would step in to bring order to this chaotic scene.
Okay.
This hero called himself Captain Clark. Now, the FBI was soon on hand to handle the rescue. Of course, the FBI being involved in this is how I kind of found this story.
Okay.
So they show up to deal with the efforts along with other responders, and they immediately found themselves ordered around by a man in charge. Our hero. His name was William James Clark, who wore military fatigues and called himself Captain Clark of the United States Army.
Oh, here we go. Stolen valor, isn't it?
Whether it was normal for the Army to send a captain over to oversee such matters was not a question that occurred to any of the FBI to ask.
Okay.
In fact, Clark was not a captain and had previously been arrested multiple times for impersonating one.
Okay.
So the
FBI believed him?
Yep.
Oh, dear.
Yep. They listened and they just went along with everything he said. Clark wore a radish gray hair. Wore his hair reddish gray in a high and tight fit to the standards of the 670I Army regulations. Though the closest he got to a military career was a high school participation in the ROTC program. Almost two decades before this, right? Beyond the lack of experience, his physique and demeanor should have been giveaways that he was not a soldier.
The ROTC is the Reserve Officer Training Corps. It's what they do with students who want to join the Army.
Yep. His physique and demeanor should have been giveaways that he was not a soldier. The spare tire around his waist is a feature most people remember of the 300-something pound body that he tend to lose sentences in his mind before they made it all the way out of his mouth. So he's not exactly a very impressive man.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. So, oops, wrong thing here. 1 second. So you can go by more than just...
You have a photo of him?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
That's the captain.
Yeah, that is the captain. That's not the captain. No, that's not the captain. That's not the captain. I changed my mind. That is not the captain. He's not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing a 5K run, is he? This is car camouflage.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Okay, but Captain Clark, as he called himself, on the way on the bridge that day in Weber Falls, glossed over his shortcomings with ease. Clark gave interviews to local media as if he were in charge of the rescue effort.
Jesus
I could not. I tried so hard, I could not find.
I couldn't find a clip.
No. Clark even told the then governor Frank Keating that he couldn't hold a press conference in his absence or with the bridge in the background.
Oh yeah.
The details of what led Clark to the scene and his motives behind his actions are sketchy. But according to Jerry Pippin, a columnist for UFO magazine, self-subscribes theorist. I mean, come on. Who doesn't have that in their circular? Come on. He interviewed Clark. Clark stopped randomly at a rest stop a few miles away because he had a sixth sense, a premonition, if you will, that a disaster was about to take place. So he rushed to rescue while Oklahoma State troopers were setting up barriers to prevent more drivers from getting onto the bridge.
That doesn't explain why he pretended to be an army captain.
Clark's story then takes a heroic turn. He claims he boldly waded into the murky waters while bumbling emergency responders let victims drown or suffocate from oxygen deprivation in submerging cars. He claims that he saved a mother and daughter from a sinking car before the state troopers in charge forced him away from the river because of the undercurrent that was too strong even for the trained rescue divers that showed up. The lack of leadership, so he recalled to Pippin, is the reason he returned wearing Army BDUs, captain bars, a Green Beret insignia shortly after the state troopers forced him away from the scene.
Oh, he came back after they sent him off?
Yes, he came back dressed as the captain, and they're like, "Oh, hey, this is the captain."
They didn't recognize him.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see. Clark's account of the bridge collapse is probably fanciful, given that no one else can seem to verify him saving two women. Others quickly suggested that he was just up to no good from the start. So he probably, that whole thing of him being there and then leaving and then coming back, he probably just went to the Army Navy store and then showed up.
That guy there couldn't save a text document.
Yeah. from not the foreshadowing, but from United States versus William J. Clark, further with his claim of command. Here's a rundown of what he said.
Oh, yes.
After a briefcase belonging to an actual Army captain was recovered from the river, defendant took possession of it and contacted the officer's widow on multiple occasions. On May 28, 2002, he obtained the use of several motel rooms in Van Buren, Arkansas, by representing that he was an Army captain and assuring motel management that other government officials would pay for the tab, which eventually totaled to $900. The same day, he obtained $464 worth of provisions from the Army surplus store in neighboring Fort Smith, Arkansas, by telling store employees that he was an Army captain who needed a supply for the rescue effort. The following day, he appeared in uniform and borrowed a 1997 pickup from a dealership in Searcy, Arkansas, telling the owner that he needed it to transport supplies to rescue workers in Oklahoma. He failed to return the truck as promised.
And then he stole it.
Right. Yeah. Captain Clark rose faded as folks in the lake of Weber's Fall. Mayor Jewel Horn started to call his bluff after a couple days with his unique style of leadership. After locals started to suspect that they had been had, Clark bailed in the truck that he had, as you said, stolen, and headed north to Toronto. He hid out in Canada for a couple days until Mounties tracked him down. He was shipped back to the U.S., pleaded guilty to felony charges of impersonating a federal officer, theft of a vehicle, hotel room, and last but not least, felony firearms possessions, because why not? It's America. Clark already had...
Skip ahead to when he runs for president.
Clark already had prior convictions, believe it or not, for check fraud,
Okay.
On his record. He spent 5 years in federal prison for the bridge episode. So he was released under supervision in 2007, but it didn't take long for him to come back into the spotlight a little bit. Less than 2 months out of prison, Clark found himself in federal custody and again on his way to prison for a stranger than fiction offense. According to an interview with Pippin, again our UFO guy,
Pippin.
Clark began hearing voices to discuss a federal plot involving special forces to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Okay.
Quote, I remember hearing voices and stuff about it. I thought I had heard people talking about a plot against President of Russia, Putin, or whatever his name is. I know how our government system is, and that's why I called the embassy. And Sick was talking about how they had someone that was close to him and was going to take him out.
Are you sure he wasn't just in the group, the chat group?
Yeah, right. With Egros or
Exit.
Yeah. Clark told Pippin he had no recollection of making the call until he was locked up again. In court, Clark argued he lacked the medication he needed to treat what he disclosed to Pippin as bipolar and multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
Both the voices and his troubles getting medication went unmentioned until he had been sentenced, though, and was submitted writing appeals to the judge, all of which were denied. So he might have just made all of that up. Who knows?
Well, he's some kind of mental or unwell, isn't he?
Yeah, possibly. Despite Clark's well-documented love of telling tall stories, the bizarre ploy gives fuel to the fire that Clark is a Manchurian candidate, brainwashed by the federal government and unleashed at their whim, according to Pippin. This is that whole chaos theory, right?
That's classic.
Yep. Classic Pippin. In Pippin's mind, the strange twist adds up to one coincidence too many. Clark fits the profile of, quote, what the government would look for in a fall guy. He kind of a loser and a good old boy, just the type of guy that never had a chance. He's a nice guy in a lot of ways, but he's also despicable. He's the type of guy that would look for it if they were going to use somebody as a tool and have a diversion. There was a yellow cake that was just everywhere at Susquehanna. I don't know where that is. So it seems to be a perfect place for all the authorities to be distracted.
Okay, hang on.
What?
That's
yellow cake uranium, or was that? Yeah.
He said that guy's the perfect candidate to be a government patsy, right?
That's what he's saying.
But the way he described it is also the perfect candidate for the KKK.
Yes. Yeah. Or president. Conspiracy claims had Clark served a sentence of 21 months in prison for violating the terms of his release. For the role of the bridge disaster in true form, he wasted no time in finding or trouble.
Of course he did.
Late one afternoon in April.
Put us back on screen. People will be confused. Here we go.
Okay. Do you want me to leave him up there?
If you like.
Well.
The main thing is that they can see me.
Okay. Late one afternoon in April 2010 at Neo Computers in Davenport, Iowa, Clark convinced a salesman he was set to deploy to Iraq in 12 hours and he needed a laptop. He paid for the $800 with a personal check tied to a non-existent account. What makes the con all the worse is that Alan Millage, the store owner, is a 10-year veteran of the Air Force. That ended his career with the rank of staff sergeant. He was suspicious from the onset, but Clark danced through the familiar routines that had convinced him in so many other ways. Quote, everything was in order. I've seen some fat guys in the National Guard, so that's how I justified it at the time. Well,
if he's in the Air Force, he thinks everybody in the Army is scum.
Fair. Yeah. And he's not wrong. I should have known better that if he was Air Force, I could have called his bluff. But it's really adding up to what you just said. But I sympathized with him in the fact that he was about to deploy, so I didn't think much of it at the time. Mileage reconsidered the obvious red flags, the transaction where the check came back from an invalid account a few weeks later, which he says that has never happened at the shop before or since. He didn't bother to try or call the bank, instead filed a police report because, why even bother, right? After growing tired of what he called slow police response. Mileage started an investigation of his own, because that's what you have to do, and was able to track down Clark's real name by
You
the
know, he was
driver's license.
frustrated with the leadership. That's what he did. He had to do
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes. Tracked down his name, driver's license, and address listed when he bought the laptop. Apparently, Clark had left a real street address, one of mileage said belonged to Clark's sister and
Oh.
father. But he had switched the city from Davenport to Sioux City. That information and a string of posts about Clark on Georgia Packing had given Mileage some idea of the person that had got off with his computer. He shared his information with the authorities, who told them it was doubtful that Clark would ever pop back up.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the last we heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good episode, Seamus. I liked it. Good.
Yep. So,
but wait, there's more.
Captain Clark showed up at a gun show in Alaska.
Yeah, he did.
Rain-soaked captain,
Alaska from Iowa.
capital of Juneau,
Okay.
August 7th, which is Sidney Crosby's birthday. Also my son's birthday. No, Sidney Crosby's not my son, but you know. Clark this is 2010, by the way.
Is this one of those
Clark,
Penguins jokes?
Yes. Oh, you fucker, shut up. Clark, when then 36, looked as though he had I can speak, had a successful military career. His army uniform was decked out with an array of insignias and patches, most notably a captain bars on his shoulder. And lightning struck through the swords sewn into his left sleeve as a member of the 10th Special Forces Group.
So he was like the Shah of Persia, yeah?
Yes. So he's obviously upgraded since the last time he was out. Yeah. Mm. As Clark passed up tables of guns in favor of polar salesmen peddling an all-terrain vehicle, which is like a four-wheeler, kind of thing, right? And the like, he caught the attention of U.S. Army Sergeant Lewis Bradwin, that's a unfair 25-year-old, stationed at the I don't know where I got 75, man. And I'm completely sober, by the way. Stationed at Joint Base Emeroff Richardson Bandwidth, later recalled to the Army Times that Clark was a ridiculous obese guy in fatigues. So again, these guys, they see it, but they just fall for it. It didn't take much for the real soldier to spot glaring problems with Clark's uniform, though, or with the imposter's questionable story. Why would an active member of the Green Berets, headquartered in Fort Carlson, Colorado, be looking to buy all-terrain vehicles for his guys at a gun show in Alaska? Bradwin recalled the story later on the popular online gun forum, Georgia Packing. I know you subscribe. He wrote that he shouted Clark down in the parking lot and made him pull the insignia from his fake uniform. The interaction coupled, so you finally got some guy to call his shit out, right? That interaction coupled with an apparently counterfeit Travis Air Force base vehicle identified on Clark's car was also enough for Bandwidth to push information up to the military chain and eventually spurred the FBI in Clark's direction. You're probably still pissed about the whole bridge.
Did you say he was in the Green Berets?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess that's what peak male body looks like. You might not like it.
Yeah. The feds quickly realized Clark had outstanding arrest warrants for a cross-country check fraud spree that stretched from Iowa to Alaska.
No, we know how he got there, okay?
Yeah, so he's been on it. In Alaska alone, he passed 5 fictitious out-of-state checks to Alaska Marine Highway System under the pretense of military travel. The FBI found Clark at Juneau, and he later pled guilty to taking 224 people for a collective of $66,893.
He must love jail.
Yeah, so that's quite a bit of quite a bit of cash.
A chunk of change, yeah.
Yep. April 12th, 2012, United States Attorney Kenya R. Brown announced that William, it says Kevin Clark, but it's James Clark, I don't want to change that, was sentenced to 15 months imprisonment followed by 5 years supervision. He was ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $148,000 $148,452 to Regional Bank. Clark had previously entered a guilty plea to defrauding Regions Bank. Austin's Bard of Anchorage News, who I got a lot of this from, or at least, but yeah, wrote that depending on who you ask, Clark is, quote, a heartless conman, a brainwashed fool of the federal government, or a victim of systems suffering from mental illness without treatment. So, but I guess,
You're right.
yeah.
Yes, that's about the last we heard of him, I'm sure.
Well, times will tell if whether or not Captain Clark will again return to his shenanigans.
That's pretty cool. I'm sure that's the last we've heard of him.
Well, that would have been the last we've heard of him if I didn't Google him literally yesterday.
Brilliant.
So all that is what I wrote. Yes.
Brilliant.
So all that I had put together before. Whenever I told you we'd probably do a JIBJab, and yep. So I literally Googled this and found this from an article from the, which I'm pretty much going to read most of it just straight. The Delta Dunklin Democrat. So this was
the Delta what?
Yeah, hold on. The Delta Dunklin.
Okay.
Dunklin Democrat.
Thank you.
This is from April 15th, 2025. William James Clark. Okay. 52, alleged that he represented himself as a decorative war hero.
Here we go.
Charged with a litany of crimes surrounding accusations, appeared in court. Yeah. So our boys kind of got a little older. This is how I showed up to court.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's missing a foot.
Yeah. So where was I? He showed up in a motorized wheelchair without legal representation at 35th Judicial District Circuit Court in front of Judge Spielman on Tuesday.
He's doing a Harvey Weinstein, is he? Can he walk fine?
Well, he's missing a foot, dude. So
yeah. He has that foot somewhere. He's strapping it up somewhere.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not lying about some of the stuff we're going to read, but I think the whole foot thing's probably real.
You're so naive, Seamus.
Yeah. He appeared slight trembling occasionally and leaned to one side in his chair during the hearing. Bald, pale, and wearing gray trousers, a dark colored military-type cotton jacket, sporting a hospital bracelet, seated in the candy blue powered chair, a plastic urine bottle dangling from his urinal arm,
Yeah.
That's that little cuppy thing on the
side
there. Yep. Clark told the Delta Dunklin Democrat in a post-hearing interview outside the Dunklin courthouse that he's an innocent man. I mean, come on. And that's a claim that he's repeated countless times over the years, as we've already kind of talked about. Clark said charges streamed from a search warrant executed at the Maldwin Airport Inn are the result of misunderstandings among the law enforcement agencies that are trying to persecute him. Quote, New Madrid County sheriffs came and searched my vehicle in Dunklin County. New Madrid used the information they got from the VFW in Lilybourne, and that's what they based this whole thing on.
Okay.
His legal issues in Lilybourne began when Clark alleged to have provided a fake United States Army DD-214 discharge document as proof of his military service on a VFW application. Now, do you follow that?
No.
So DD-214 is basically proof that you're in the military. It's your discharge papers, right?
What's a VFW?
VFW is the Veterans of Foreign Wars. It's like a club. There's bars. There's all kinds.
Is it government funded?
I believe they get subsidies. So
do they give you money?
That I don't know. I would not be surprised.
Why would you want to join? I mean,
probably a fellowship.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure that he might be able to get something out of it. They do raffles for people and stuff. So, so the VFW officers in Lilybourne said that they knew the document was a forged, phony. Clark didn't dispute that.
Okay.
These are gag forms. Those forms and the stuff even says it's a gag. Which, okay.
Well, you're a gag officer then.
Yeah. He rejected the notion that he produced the bogus DD-14 at Lilybourne. It's not the actual form. I didn't take them to Lilybourne. Despite his denials, New Madrid County Prosecutor Attorney Andrew Lawson charged Clark with felony forgery and felony violation of Missouri's Stolen Valor Act.
Stolen Valor.
Yep. According to court documents, Judge Sanchez issued a warrant for Clark's arrest and ordered a $25,000 cash bond only. And Clark disputes even this, which technically he's correct. Dunklin County is the one that had the search warrant. There is no search warrant from New Madrid.
Okay.
Clark repeated this masqueraded at the Dunklin County prosecutor charged a probable cause affidavit filled by the New Madrid County Sheriff's Office detective on March 13th stated the investigator of Clark's Madeline Motel room resulted in a seizure of treasury trove of physical evidence. So I'm thinking what they're saying is that the one county was able to produce the warrant because they're having an affidavit from the other agency. So
okay,
it is legit, but it's
but it's technical.
Yeah, it's very technical. It'd be like what's your Tipperware? What's next to you?
Waterford.
So if an officer in Waterford's trying to investigate a crime and he wants to search the house of your house, right? That he could get an affidavit to the prosecutor there, and then they would issue a warrant, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Police grabbed an alleged forged DD-14 5 American Legion documents from Mesquite, Texas, posted that listed Clark as an adjunct in the Sons of American Legion, which I have no idea what that is, but sounds interesting. United States Army physical training jacket with Special Forces tab, and a second camo top with United States Army Rangers insignia, a notebook with paper that indicate Clark practiced writing his signature, a veteran's card that bears his name from Century Casino, a military police badge and ID card
Jesus.
that listed Clark as captain and an investigator, a card that stated Clark is a Purple Heart recipient and wounded in Afghanistan,
No, he ain't.
American Legion membership card from Meldon, and the PCA stated, I transferred my membership from Sons of the American Legion, and I was an adjutant in the Sons of Legion in Mesquite, Texas. I was second vice at California City, California, and I never told anybody that I was in the military. All I said was, I'm Sons of Legion, and I transferred my membership, and that's all I said. So boom, suck on that.
Yeah. Sure, I got the jacket, but I never told anybody.
Yeah, I mean, okay, guy. Clark raised in Talispoo. I have no idea where that is. In a Risco High School graduate, was arrested in the motel and taken into police custody. The coins and everything I had, I bought on Temu. I bought the Purple Heart stuff on Temu.
Temu.
Yeah, you know what Temu is, right?
Yes.
Very cheap stuff, yeah.
It's like Wish, but different.
Exactly. I did not misrepresent myself. I'm a member of the Sons of American Legion because my dad was in the military, and that's all it was. Boy, he's got daddy issues.
I bought my Purple Heart on Temu, but I didn't misrepresent myself.
Right. And despite it, sees Clark emphasized that he never represented himself as a soldier. I have no ID that I show I'm military. And when I pull out the coins to look at, saw the Purple Heart coin. And that's all it is to be. I didn't say I was injured or anything. you mean you hold up the award for somebody that got injured and say you didn't
expect them to know you got it on Temu.
Yeah, okay. It is fake claims of military membership followed him for at least 30 years, and across two nations, which we kind of want to overhear briefly. Regarding the Malden bust, the prosecutor charged Clark with 2 counts of felony forgery, felony possession of controlled substance, felony violation of stolen valor, 5 counts of misdemeanor violation of stolen valor. Spielman Tuesday read out loud the charges and advised him to hire an attorney. He's found for a public defender.
What controlled substance was he done for?
I don't know. Didn't say. That would be when Clark claimed that he. Oh yeah, I'll admit to one thing: I did impersonate a federal officer. Of course, that's talking about what happened in Oklahoma.
Yep.
And that thing they didn't say I rescued a woman and her daughter from a vehicle that was in the Muskogee, Iowa or Oklahoma. So he's still trying to say that same shit that we know didn't happen.
I have an idea why they didn't say that.
Why?
It didn't happen.
Nobody would step up to the plate and do their jobs. I did federal. Yep, I did federal time, and I never disagree with them about saying what I said. It sounds like you just did. The things that I've been the thing is, I've been out of federal prison for years. I was on the federal probation for 5 years. My USPO, I walked the line, didn't violate any of the laws, and I went in. And I started out in Florida. When I shuffle around, I finally was released in California. So, just an innocent man. He did his time. When the DDD report brought the details of his crimes, escapades to light, Clark won on the defensive. That's the, I guess, abbreviation for the paper. The history I have is from rescuing a mother and daughter when no one else would do their job. The state troopers, nobody. I jumped up to the plate and I said what I said and to get the ball rolling.
That ball rolling.
I am the one who got involved. I don't know if this is, I am the one that knocks speech.
I am the ball roller. I am the captain now.
I was healthier then, and he was described as ridiculously obese, of course. I got kidney failure. I have dialysis Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I have to go to the hospital 4 days a week and stuff. I have a sign for dialysis and go to the ER department and everything else. Which, if true, that sucks. The accused con man said he's unsure if he's being treated fairly by the Dunklin County regarding the laundry list of charges. In society alone? Question mark. In this case, if they would have let me explain it to them instead of jumping the gun, I could have explained it away. The sheriff didn't give me... What's that?
I'm sure he could.
The sheriff didn't give me a... It says expletive. I'm guessing a shit. Give a shit. I've been fitting with an ankle monitor today. Never had one before.
Well, he's beating the ankle monitor anyway, isn't he?
It's going to be funny because my leg is the size of Texas. Which one?
There's only one Texas, Seamus.
Yeah. No, one leg. Dunklin County Associates Prosecutor Dickus Tuesday guaranteed that the county is serious.
Biggest Dickus, they call him.
Yep, biggest Dickus. Quote, we're going to do everything we can to support our veterans.
I hope so.
He's currently out on bail facing charges. Last month he went in for his arraignment, and he's still, He's
so this episode is kind of ending in the middle of it for once.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like a what's new, something with him.
Dude, it's going to be even more depressing if that's the photo of him now. Like, it's hard to kind of if he is going for dialysis and stuff. Like,
well, I think he also lives in a hotel room with his mom. So yeah,
I can't bring the chicks back.
No, can't bring the chicks back unless they're into that. I don't know.
Because the captain scores, man.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Plays, yeah.
That's why he's going to the VFW.
Chicks dig the bars, man.
Yeah.
And your captain there in the army. Are you? Which unit are you with? The 252nd Airborne Wing. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, my husband's in that too. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got for about the Captain Clark for now. So
I've seen YouTube compilations of people calling out stolen valor. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah.
Just guys cool. After because some of them are kind of fucking bastards, but other guys are just stupid homeless guys and half mad and they don't know what they're doing. So like, I don't know.
This guy's a break.
Yeah, just take the jacket off him and let him go. Like, yeah. This guy, I don't know what to make of him, man. He's definitely some kind of mad, but I don't know. He's a danger to society if he keeps doing it over and over and over. Like, who knows what he can come out with?
It's hard to say. Did he get anybody killed and running that scene, or did he save lives? Really,
the mother and the daughter that exists.
I don't believe that part, but I mean, maybe he did make some good calls on the bridge.
I'd like to hear what Pippin has to say about this.
Yeah. I'm sure we can get a hold of him.
I'm going to put all my opinions past Pippin now. How do I feel about Israel, Pippin? Let me know. Well, let me tell you, those guys are in charge of the chemtrail. What do you mean, those guys? Jews. Not allowed to say it.
Yeah, that's definitely Alex Jones-ish.
Yeah.
Goddamn, Alex Jones is starting to sound normal compared to
What's he
a lot
said
of
now?
shows that are out there. No, I'm just saying, just the people that's
Oh, yeah.
talking, it's just, wow.
Marjorie Taylor Greene said something sensible last week. I don't know, I nearly shot myself.
Yeah, right?
Why are we going to war with Iran? What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, there's a Timmy sighting.
Hey, Timmy. Come here, Lovey.
There's an actual Timmy.
Come here, Lovey.
Not just the
Little friend.
Lego Timmy.
Look at the violence, the huge in the system. Like, just see that? She went for me.
Yeah.
Come here, Timmy, come here. That's a good girl. You're a very good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. Timmy does not like being picked up. Look at me. Look at me when I'm loving you. Look at me. Look at my eyes. I'm over here, you little shit. Look at me. Ugh, never mind. I mean like that about it.
Awesome.
Oh, you look at me now when you want the food, yeah? When no one's... Never mind, doesn't matter. This isn't about the cat. Yeah. So how about that?
All right, so that's our show, folks. We'll see y'all in 2
That's
weeks.
our JIBJabs.
We'll be doing something different.
We will see you in 2 weeks in real time, but in fake time, we will see you in 5 minutes.
Bye.